So, continuing with my series on DNA in the Zodiac case, I want to get into the Deborah Perez incident, which actually was an important milestone in the hunt for information about the DNA in the Zodiac case. Before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about SFPD and specifically Kjell Qvale. When I first came up with Qvale's name I came up with it in 1999, but I think it was about 2000 or 2001, I sent a report that I had prepared then to Kjell Qvale of SFPD, and I believe I spoke to him in Maloney on the phone, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long time ago. Qvale apparently was not impressed with me or with my research, and I would go so far as to say that he had it in for me. In one case, he apparently, according to somebody, called me a nutcase, and I just am incredulous that he would have that opinion of me. So let me tell you something a little bit about Kjell Qvale. Kjell Qvale apparently had a social relationship with Lindsay Robbins, one of the three eyewitnesses to the Stein murder, whom we interviewed. Jim Dean and I interviewed. Well, Jim actually interviewed him in 2003. Lindsay was not really into speaking to amateurs, so I didn't insinuate myself into the discussions. I let Jim speak to Lindsay exclusively. I would ask Jim questions to ask Lindsay, but I did not speak to Lindsay personally. Anyway, they would see each other socially, and in 2000 or 2001, I had sent a photo of Qvale with the racehorse Silky Sullivan to Kjell Qvale, and to show you how much or how little respect he had for me and my research, he never once bothered, apparently, to take that photograph, fold it up, stick it in the pocket of his shirt or his suit jacket, and show it to Lindsay Robbins to get his reaction to it. As it turns out, in 2003, when we showed Lindsay that photograph, he had a very strong reaction to it. Now, if Kjell Qvale had even bothered to do his job, despite what he felt about me or towards my research, and just happened to show that photograph to Lindsay Robbins prior to 2003, he would have gotten the same reaction that we got in 2003, and maybe, just maybe, this would have lit a light bulb in his head and made him say, hey, there may be something to this Qvale guy. But as it stands, Kjell Qvale didn't apparently lift a finger to do anything to try to prove my theory. All he did was call me a nutcase, and then he ruled out my suspect. He was part of ruling out my suspect on the ABC show against DNA that wasn't even from the Zodiac killer. So I don't have much regard for Kjell Qvale as an inspector or a detective.